Okay, what you see in front of you is 2 doses of naloxone intranasal, the 2 atomizers, the instruction sheet that they give you, and the bill, which I'm going to close in on. The reason I'm going on a close up is because my insurance covers a deductible for the naloxone, um, but I had to pay for the atomizers separately, which is $7.75 each. To me, kind of defeats the purpose because you can't use it without the atomizers. That's one thing. Two is the instructions, right? Um, so, here you go. So, I went to a Rite Aid in the Bronx. I think it's on Park, Prospect, and Westchester, by the number 2 and 5 train. So I went in there with an intern tally to find out how easy it would be to get, um, a naloxone kit. Um, first going in, the person at the counter wasn't too sure what we were talking about. Then we went to the pharmacist, and Tally asked if she has Narcan, and the look on her face was like she didn't know what we were talking about. So I said naloxone, and even then a little bit iffy when I said somebody overdoses. We went in at 11:50. Well, we started talking to the people at 11:56. That was the beginning. So I had to give them my insurance card and my ID, and that took about 12 minutes, I think, maybe. Was that right, Tally?
Yeah, I think we were waiting like between those for about 10, 12 minutes.
Yeah, so the first 10, 12 minutes was just waiting for her to try to run my insurance, um, verify that they'll pay for it, etc. Right? And then, then she calls, she calls me back to tell me that, it's only a $5 deductible, for, uh, the drug, for the naloxone, but that I would have to pay for the atomizers separately, which is $7.75. So again, to me, I think that defeats the purpose because you can't use it without the atomizer, right? I mean, you can, but you have to be inventive, right? Um,
Seven
so that
seventy five each.
7.75 each. Okay, so yeah, so it's 7.75 for each atomizer. Then we went back, sat down, then we called up again to pay for it. At one point, she's asking me. There's a little button where you press, that you want to ask questions, or you're fine, you don't need to ask questions. So I was playing a little bit dumb, and like I didn't know what that meant. And she was like, well, if you have any questions, and I said, well, whatever you could tell me would be helpful. Her exact words were, well, if you have to use 2 doses, call 911. So no training, and for her benefit, I don't think that she was probably even trained. Um, I mean, I gave her the opportunity by telling her whatever you could tell me is helpful. Um, and she gave me a sheet. That's the sheet basically says it's opioid safety. Includes pres- prescription painkillers, heroin, right? Then naloxone. Oh, so it says the paper says naloxone is a safe medication that can reverse the opioid overdose. Has no effects on alcohol or other drugs. Takes 2 to 5 minutes to start working. May require more than 1 dose. Effects last 30 to 90 minutes. May cause withdrawal. Then it has a list on the side of of what is an opioid. Um, then it says avoid opioid overdose. Be careful if you take a break or miss doses. This can lower your tolerance. Avoid mixing opioids with other medication or drugs, especially benzodiazepines, such as Xanax. Avoid taking opioids alone. Have someone nearby to help in case of emergency. Be careful taking more opioids than usual. You never know how you'll react. Then another part says, tell others where your naloxone is stored and how to use it. Then we come to the how to use naloxone sheet, right? I'm not sure, but let's see. It says call 911. She didn't tell us that. She says if we use both those, then we should call 911. Give the naloxone if you have it. If no response in 3 minutes, give a second dose. Stay with the person, discourage him or her from taking more opioids. If you don't know what the person has taken, give naloxone. Nasal spray. Take off the cap, the yellow cap, screw on the atomizer, take off the purple cap, screw on the naloxone barrel, the vial into the barrel, tilt the head back, insert, give a short, strong push at the end of the spray, at the end of the vial to spray naloxone into nose, 1/2 of vial into each nostril. If no response in 3 minutes, give a second dose. If the person isn't breathing, do rescue breathing or CPR if you know how. If still unresponsive, lay the person on his or her side to prevent choking. Okay, so that's basically kind of more or less what it is, right? So you're not trained. Even giving her the opportunity to train me, like obviously, I seemed like somebody that didn't know what I was doing. I was just told about, if you get 2 doses, call 911. The second problem is that, an extra $15, $15.50 in this community, it's a lot of money, right? That can go towards bread, eggs, milk, whatever. If you have this medication that can save somebody's life, and you just have this and you don't have the other part, again, it defeats the purpose. I mean, you can be inventive and maybe create some, but that shouldn't be part of your job. You should have everything you need. Then the other thing is, we asked for intramuscular. They don't carry intramuscular. Is that what she said, Callie?
Yeah, none of the Rite Aids in New York do.
None of the writers in New York carry intramuscular. They didn't give a reason why. They said they don't do it. And just so everybody can see, this is me. This is mine from Rite Aid. Up in the Bronx. So maybe it's time for health or whoever it is that works with them to actually talk to pharmacies, and then whoever the head pharmacist is or however that works, have them talk to whoever's dispensing it, because waiting over 22 minutes, and that's because we more or less, like, we knew what we were going in there asking for. So I can imagine somebody going in there not knowing what they're asking for, but knowing what they need it for. So that's a long time you're waiting there. You're paying extra. You're not getting any training whatsoever. You're getting a piece of paper that I have an obvious Spanish name. I wasn't even asking if I wanted it in Spanish. I was just giving some in English. So if I didn't know how to read, then this would be trash to me. I think this system is terribly flawed. Like, I don't. This is what I've been saying forever. Everybody should be able to have access to it, if you can afford it and if you're trained to use it. Anyway, that's my experience trying to get naloxone from the Rite Aid up in the Bronx. Yes, shout out to Tally, our intern.
Hi.
Yeah. All right.
All right.